What's going on, guys? Austin Zabak coming to you with another YouTube video, and in today's video we're going to be updating you on the stimulus check updates and everything really that has happened since I made my last stimulus check update video. So definitely make sure you stay to the very end as I'm going to try to get as much value as I possibly can. So as you probably saw on Friday, literally more than 2 hours of debate, the HEROES Act was actually passed in the House. The vote was 208 to 199, which is pretty crazy. And I know we've talked a lot about the HEROES Act in the past, but I want to really dive in to a couple of other updates that I have for you as well, and just really overall see how much value and information we can actually talk about here. So Denver Riggleman, a Republican representative from Virginia, made a motion to recommit with instructions. And this essentially means that he made an attempt to get the House to amend the bill immediately before voting further. However, it was rejected by a 198 to 209 vote. And Congresswoman Virginia Foxx, a Republican from North Carolina, actually said it was a dark day for our country. Republican Congressman Tom Cole called the bill massive and unwarranted. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called it a liberal wish list. And Representative Abigail Spanberger, a Democrat from Virginia, tweeted that this bill strays far beyond delivering relief or responding to an urgent crisis, and it has no chance at becoming a law. And as you probably heard, this is expected to be pretty much dead on arrival when actually getting into the Senate, okay? So both parties are really using this bill for their own political agendas, which in all honesty is what we keep seeing over and over again, which is pretty crazy. And that being said, it is also election year, so there's a lot going on right now when I look at just everything in general and the CARES Act and the stimulus updates and the second round of potential stimulus, also the country and trying to reopen things. It is just very interesting to see what is going on. And really it is extremely interesting when you have a neutral perspective on everything, which I do. And if you're new to my channel, I do have a very neutral perspective. I just want to bring you the latest and greatest, so I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, smash that like button, okay? It really does help me with the YouTube algorithm. And normally I talk a lot about personal finance and how to invest your money, how to save your money, and things of that nature. But let's go ahead and continue to talk about the stimulus check updates. So pretty much the details of the bill that the House actually passed are that it'll be $1,200 in additional stimulus, basically a one-time $1,200 payment like we saw with the CARES Act, and it would be people that earned less than $75,000, with families also being eligible for an additional $1,200 for up to 3 qualified dependents, and adult dependents are actually included, which we did not see in the CARES Act. And the income limits and the phase-out amount are the same as the CARES Act, essentially. If you saw what kind of happened there, or if you got your initial $1,200 stimulus check, then you would kind of know. But in a nutshell, if you're single, it was $75,000, married filing jointly was $150,000, and head of household was $112,500. And again, it phases out from there. And people with ITINs, which stands for Individual Taxpayer Identification Number, would now qualify as well. With the last stimulus payment, or the CARES Act, if you were familiar, maybe you weren't familiar, you actually had to have a social security number. So what I saw a lot on my channel, and a ton of you have dropped a million comments in my comment section, was that there was a lot of people in the last CARES Act, or in the first act, okay, I guess the first stimulus of them all, or the first one so far, is that a lot of people didn't qualify. There were so many different variables to look at. I know with the dependents, they didn't qualify, and there were several other people that didn't qualify as well. Also, debt collectors would not be allowed to collect certain types of debt, and they would not be allowed to garnish your stimulus check, which was not the case in the initial CARES Act. And this act would provide an extension of the $600 a week in the additional unemployment benefits through January 31st of 2023. 2021. And the rest of the bill would provide additional funding for state governments, local governments, coronavirus testing and other health-related expenses, housing assistance programs, supplemental nutrition assistance program. The U.S. Postal Service, actually about $25 billion would go to the U.S. Postal Service with the HEROES Act, and also small businesses, and as well election security and preparation. There would also be student loan assistance, and it would go towards the students that were economically distressed, meaning they meet one of the following criteria, and that is that they were delinquent or in default on their student loan, they were in an economic hardship, deferment, or forbearance on their student loan, or they were in an income-driven repayment plan with a monthly payment of $0 a month. If they meet the requirements, here's what the bill would allow. It would allow $10,000 in federal student loan forgiveness, $10,000 in private student loan forgiveness, and an extension of the CARES Act suspension payments, interest, and collections on government-held federal student loans through September of 2021, and a fix to public service loan forgiveness that would allow payments made on previously consolidated federal student loans to potentially count towards the 120 qualifying monthly payments required for the program, okay? So again, that is kind of in a nutshell what the HEROES Act would actually entail, again, as it is or as it was when it got passed by the House. Now, there are a lot of people, a lot of speculation that it does not get passed in the Senate, okay? And I know a lot of you have dropped into the comment section below that not only will it not get passed in the Senate, but that the president will not sign it. And I would love to know what your thoughts are, and if you think there'll be an amendment to the bill, if you think there'll be any revisions, if you think there will actually be a second stimulus, okay? I've done a lot of research over the last month on the stimulus, as I've made a lot of videos for you. I don't know exactly what is going to happen. I find it very interesting what is going on in the world. I love keeping up with it. In no way, shape, or form am I involved in politics on any level. I would never get involved on any level. I'm very neutral, but I am very curious. I'm very interested. I love the economy. I love finances. I love how the markets work, the real estate market and the stock market. And I love keeping up with it, and I hope that you find value in these videos. Also, if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it again if you would hit that like button, okay? But at the end of the day, we'll just have to see what happens, okay, on this particular bill. So until then, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.